One or two things with Robyn Lambird.
One or two things that you wish non-disabled people knew or that they did differently.
Yeah, I think, well, like the biggest one is like when people ask what's wrong with you, like
Yeah,
there's absolutely nothing wrong with me. Like my life is pretty sweet, honestly. And that's not to say that it is for everyone with a disability. Life with a
yeah,
disability can be really tough, because of, inaccessibility and because of people's perceptions. Um, but, my disability, especially having a congenital disability, is really just a part of who I am. Like I can't tell myself from my disability.
yeah,
Because all of my experiences have been shaped by the fact that I'm a disabled person and I'm experiencing the world as a disabled person. So, for me, it's as much a part of who I am as, the fact that I'm an athlete or, that my favorite color is green. Like, it's just who I am. So I think that needs to be reflected in our media and, in the narratives that we tell in society so that people are aware of that and are just aware that it's just part of human diversity. And, there's so many conversations around sort of the medical model of disability and how do we, you know, through medicine make life better for people with disabilities or to even eradicate disability. But at the end of the day, it's never going to happen because you're always going to have this part of human diversity that's going to result in disability. So we just
yeah.
need to come together as a community to make the world accessible for people with disabilities. But in doing so, it's going to make the world more accessible for everyone.
I
Like
love
at
that.
some point,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that because I always say you either die or you'll become a person with disability. Like,
Exactly. And it's not even that. It's like,
oh,
at some point you might have a child, and I'm sure that ramp's going to come in pretty handy when you're pushing a stroller, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
and the other thing is like, so I come from through a lot of education from amazing people. I
yeah,
come from now a universal access point of view, which
yeah,
is just like use stuff that works for everyone,
everyone.
basically.
Yeah,
Like I'm yet to witness anyone or anything
yeah,
that can't use a ramp.
yeah, exactly.
There's no
Like,
need to have steps up to something if you
yeah,
can also just put a ramp because people who can walk can use
use a
ramps.
ramp.
So
Yeah.
it's not just for
And
people
like,
who use wheelchairs.
even like with like now adaptive fashion, now that adaptive fashion is actually becoming more fashionable and not just practical, I've had so many people be like, oh my gosh, those shoes are like amazing, where do I get some? And I'm like, oh, they're actually like designed for people with disabilities, but like it's awesome that you love them. Support this business and help people with disability have easy access to fashionable clothes. So
Literally,
yeah,
literally consulted with an adaptive brand. That's how they used to
yeah,
identify before. And I'm like, no, you're universal. Like
you're just a brand. Yeah,
people, non-disabled people can wear your clothes. It's just that you
yeah,
also have functionality and technology in your clothing that makes
yeah,
it more accessible to people with disabilities. So it's like,
exactly.
don't pigeonhole yourself just to trying to sell just to people through their NDIS plans. Like,
Yeah,
disabled people can buy it too. And like their clothes looked really cool as well. So I was
yeah,
like, stop pigeonholing yourself.
yeah, for
Yeah, I
sure.
love See, we're going on tangents and I love it.
It's great.
What would be your second thing?
Second thing. Um, as much as I hate those like say hi campaigns because I'm like, if I'm on the street, you don't need to say hi to me. Like I'm just going about my business. I
On
think it
top of
would
you.
be, I think it would be like to just listen to people with disabilities and to hear their stories because I think in doing so, there's so much you can learn about just living in the world as a human being because like I know my experience as a disabled person have made me have empathy for so many other groups of like minorities and stuff because I
Yeah.
can understand like the different struggles that people can face. So I think just in like sharing our stories and authentically doing so too, like having people with disabilities in control of those narratives is not only empowering for people with disabilities, but like that narrative is going to help us think about the world in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, usually give us jobs as well. So
Yeah,
it's like,
that'd be a bonus. Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
cool. Perfect.